welcome back to the Southbound Show, everybody. I'm your host, as always, the Big G, Grayson Kepley, and we got a very special guest for you, as always. Musician, influencer. He recently just signed his first record deal, and we're glad to have him here today. Allow me to introduce Bryan Andrews. What's up, brother?
What's up,
Thank
man?
you so much for being here,
Yeah,
brother.
man. Thanks for fucking letting me come in. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you can say whatever you
All
want.
right,
Yeah,
cool,
this is-
cool.
yeah. No, you're
I
good.
should have asked that before. we
No,
started
you're
rolling.
good. You're good.
No.
We just here to have a good time.
Yeah,
That's what
dude.
this show's all about. I'm
I
glad
appreciate it.
I'm glad I caught you when it wasn't hunting season for
Yeah.
us yet. I was able to get you here.
Yeah, well, you ain't gonna see me down here in November. That's for sure.
We on the same page. You lucky to find me anywhere outside of a
That's
deer
right.
stand in November.
Yeah, I tried it. We got bow season starts September 16th, and goes till January. So I'm pretty much hunting all fall.
I know y'all got some big deer in Missouri too.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got
something
some
special.
studs. We got some studs. I don't have a whole lot of ground like a lot of my other buddies do and stuff like that, but I got enough that we got some big deer.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
my dad shot like 100 gross 160-inch deer last year. So
Really?
yeah,
What's your
or 2 years ago.
Really? What's been your biggest one?
The biggest deer I ever shot was like 135. I shot one a couple years ago. I even made some TikToks about it, but it's actually the deer that this is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, labeled after him, but we called him Ghost, and I had him on picture like early September. I think it was 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, had to be like 150. I'll show you a picture of him after, because I think about that deer every day. But
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see him again. We got like 7 or 8 pictures of him, all angles and everything, and I was like, well, I'm never going to see him. He never came back on cameras, and that was the only day I had a picture of him. So I was like, well, I'm not even going to see him. And then the first weekend I went hunting, it was like the first weekend of October, I went bow hunting, and that dude walked out like 80 yards from me, and I was like, oh my God.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no way. And I'm like, fucking shaking, because people don't get it, like how much adrenaline is going.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like watching him and shit, trying to fucking, put my rangefinder on him and
Yeah.
everything. And he just, like, he was coming in, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to walk right at me, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sitting in a pop-up, so I was like, hell yeah. And then he finally got up there, and I thought he was more like 40 or 50 yards, but I didn't want to shoot him with the rangefinder to like spook him or anything, because there was 2 does that were like 20 yards to my left.
Yep.
And I put that bow up and just shot him high, and it went right through, but it didn't kill him. I mean, I looked for that deer for a week, traipsing around in the timber, probably searched 6 or 7 square miles.
Yeah.
Looking for that deer. I never even found the blood, but I found the arrow, went all the way through him, had blood and stuff all over it, but it was more like meaty and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I never did find any blood trail or anything, so I don't know. He probably died that winter.
There's no worse feeling in life than
Oh,
that.
man.
Any hunter knows that is the worst.
Yeah, dude, because it was a magnificent animal, and I was like, I mean, it's the biggest deer that I'd ever or would have ever killed, so I was like, this sucks, knowing that deer is probably one of the biggest deer in here.
Yep.
And he's probably just going to run off and die somewhere.
Yep.
And I can't find him.
My dad, we got very lucky. He killed, not whiff-wise, I don't believe, but he killed a 14-point buck last year in Ohio, and he shot this deer, and we looked all night and just couldn't find him, and it was just sickening, because that was,
yeah, dude,
because he had been,
it makes you feel awful as a person.
it does, and it's like, you did it in a humane way,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
Yeah, it's just a bad shot. And I mean, like, and so everybody's always saying, like, well, if you can't kill them ethically, then don't even go hunting. And it's like, dude, I don't know a single hunter out there that hasn't missed a deer or hurt one.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And not been able to find it.
You talking to the king of gut shooting deer.
That's
you,
what I mean.
You talking to the man right here. Thankfully, Dad, that we found that deer a couple days later. We seen the buzzards on the neighbor's side, and and man, we got lucky. We got lucky finding that deer.
Yeah, I wish I should have hired dogs or something, but there's a fence line right there, and I didn't want to get dogs running on the neighbors, because I'm sure he went over there, but
Oh yeah.
and I couldn't get a hold of him, so
Are
it
you
sucked.
are you a bow man or a gun man?
I do both. I love bow hunting, but it's not like my favorite thing to do because I'm not like the greatest at it. So, it's and I'm not the best at, like, I don't like heights or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I don't
but,
either. I don't either.
So I hunt on pop up, and I don't
Yeah.
like getting in
Yeah.
a tree stand and stuff like that. But no, I definitely don't like saddle hunting. So
You ain't got on that train yet.
no, I I went with my buddy one time. I was sitting in a tree stand. He was just sitting in the saddle on the same tree, and I was like, I would not do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Like,
Trent Ellis he was telling me about it. He loves it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I get not toting a climber in
Right.
there. Like that would be the only appeal to me.
yeah,
But the rest of it, I'm like, I don't know.
yeah. So no, I never really got into that. But I'd say like I probably hunt casually on the weekends for during bow season, and then when rifle season hits, I'm out there every day.
Yeah.
So I mean, because it's only in Missouri we're in a CWD county, so they extended our, at least for the last 2 years, they've extended our rifle season.
Yeah.
To go like 8 more or 7 more days or something like that. So it's actually, the rifle season is 17 days.
Yep.
So that's more than enough for me to like, get my fill, spending 10 hours a day in the blind.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? And we got a few different spots we'd like to go to. I'll just kind of try to play the wind, whichever way it's blowing that morning tells me which stand to go to. But I'm not like a freak genius hunter,
Yeah.
I just like to go hunting and stuff like that. Because,
Well-
I mean, I don't know. I think that everybody should have to go sit in a deer stand before they die.
Builds character.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just sit there with no cell phone service and be able to sit by yourself all day long.
Yeah.
And just look at stuff.
Yeah.
Look at nature. Look at animals coming out and stuff like that. And I mean, that's where people, they're like, I don't see how you could be so excited about going to kill deer, and I'm like, or kill an animal, and I'm like, dude, most of the time you don't.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
about
maybe
so
once
much-
a year if
yeah,
you're lucky.
Yeah, it's about so much more than going. That's why you hear people say, like, when I go out and shoot something, then my season's over. You're sad.
Yeah.
You're like, well, now you're like, I can't really go back. I mean, you go shoot a doe, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Imagine tagging out the first day. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to tag out in September,
Mhm.
but if it's a big deer, but still, it's
Yep.
like, well, dang, I'd like to at least go till November something.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we get in Missouri, we get $2 a year. You can kill one with your bow and one with your rifle. So, like, it sucks during bow season. Like, if you kept one, or if you shot one in September, like 18th or 19th or something like that, well, now you don't get to hunt. I mean, unless you're doe hunting, you're not hunting until November.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then, you shoot one the first weekend. I almost never shoot one during the first weekend unless it's a buck that I've been eyeballing for, a good bit.
Yep.
And like I've gotten a lot better in like the last 10 years since I graduated high school about not shooting bucks that are too small. I mean, the last one I killed, like I said, gross, was like 136 inches. Not a big deer, but I mean, for around where we're at, it's not too terribly small. And I mean, he was a split double, and I was like, whatever. I had never shot one with a bow, so I shot him, and then hunted all that rifle season and didn't kill a deer because I didn't see one big enough. I mean, we had a couple that were 140 inches, or maybe on the softer side of that, but they were decent deer. And I was like, well, I'm never going to get those 160, 170, 180 inch deer if I don't, not shoot them.
Manage them a little bit.
Yep.
Did you grow up hunting?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Since, I grew up in Idaho till I was like 7. I was born in Boise, actually. And then both my parents are from Missouri, and they wanted to live out west, so that's why we were out there. But they moved back out here to the high school, started teaching at the high school I went to high school at, and when I was 8, and that's when I started hunting, and I've been hooked ever since. So.
There's a song called "Hooked," and it's real.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Real.
I mean, I don't know. There's just something about it, I mean, you go out there and you just sit there and it's just you and nothing. You can't hear nothing talking.
Yep.
I mean, the only time I bring a cell phone out there is if the Chiefs are playing and I can sit in a big box blind where I know I'm going to get service and I'll play the game.
Turn your heater on in
Yeah.
there too. Get rolling.
Yeah, during rifle season, dude.
Yes, sir. I dig up a little Debbie and sit in
dude.
something like that. Turn the heater on. You won't see me. I'll sit there all day. It was we got some land in Virginia that my grandparents live on. We hunt at sometimes. It was so cold this year. I actually pulled the pickup up to the blind and sat in there with the AC running. It was rifle season.
Yep.
It was so hot, and I've heard from one of my buddies that Missouri's freezing in the winter.
It's I can't remember what year it was. It was 2 or 3 years ago now, but It was like one of the coldest opening weekends we had ever had, and it was like 1 or 2 degrees.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's almost not even fun at that
Yeah,
point. Yeah.
yeah. I make fun of people that around where I'm from because I don't do it, but I make fun of a ton of people that duck hunt because I'm like, why would you go sit out there at 3 in the morning,
Yep.
when it's -10 outside,
Yep.
waiting on ducks that you got to kill like 50 of them to fill a 5-gallon bucket
Yep.
full of meat, and every time I go out there and it's real cold, I'm like, all right,
I get it.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah, like this is also pretty stupid, but no, I wanted to get into duck hunting for a long time, but I mean, it's like every time it comes around and going, and somebody says something about bringing me, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna go sit down in a cornfield, in a harvested cornfield at 3 in the morning that's hard as a rock because it's -10 degrees outside, and just stare at the sky till it gets light out. You know what I mean?
You go dove hunting any?
I do not do a whole lot of dove hunting. Mostly like deer, turkey, and then we'll do some small game stuff every now and again. We usually have those coyote hunts and coon hunts and stuff like that.
Yep.
Tournaments or whatever.
Yep.
Which are good. Get those nuisances out of there. I think that's pretty much the only reason I do it. Because coyotes will wreak havoc on a turkey population. But
oh yeah. I went dove hunting yesterday, and I figured you might like that a little bit better because it wasn't. It's a little bit warmer.
Yeah,
exactly.
It
got up to about 80 yesterday, a little cool.
Yeah,
but it was.
We would quail hunt. My dad has always owned bird dogs, setters, but we did quail hunt when I was in Idaho. I never really did much just because it's a lot of walking. I was a little kid, but coming back to Missouri, we don't have we do have quail, but our population isn't that great now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just kept going downhill. I don't know if it's like that everywhere else, but there just ain't too many quails walking around anymore. So I mean, it's you don't I don't know anybody personally around where I'm from that quail hunts.
Yep.
So
quail hunting's kind of got to the point now where it's like if you don't go somewhere that I guess raises them and releases them for you, it's a lot harder to do because I don't know.
Them,
I don't know anywhere actually in America where you can go and hunt them in the wild like that.
Yeah,
Still.
I don't know either. I know, like I said, when we lived in Idaho, it's like kind of a high mountain desert area, so I know they stocked them there. But yeah, I mean, it's like I think it's just how at least for Missouri, I think the reason the population it's the same with turkeys. You know what I mean? Pelts ain't worth shit no more, so nobody's trapping.
Yep.
So you got predators for these things that are just running ragged, and I mean you can't keep the populations up.
Yep.
So,
so we mentioned growing up. You grew up hunting. Growing up, what was music like around the house?
My dad is a band director and my mom's a choir teacher. So
it was around the house. Yeah, you was around it quite a bit then.
Yeah, both my folks taught music, and I mean, I didn't start playing guitar until I was 18, but I was started in choir when I was in 5th grade, and then started band when I was in 5th grade as well, and just growing up around both my folks and everything, that's what I went to college for, was instrumental music education, or music performance, and then I switched to education, but I was in college for 2.5 years before I dropped out, so I dropped out of college twice actually, but the fucking first time was for different reasons, but I mean the second time I was playing guitar and I had started to write my own songs by then, but it wasn't anything serious or anything like that, and the songs were fucking terrible. I could barely play guitar at the time, and I still am not that great at it, but by the time I was finishing up at college towards the end there, I was like, dude, I'm spending so much money here, and I'm going to college full time, and I'm working basically 40 hours a week washing dishes at a bar, so I can afford to keep the lights on at the place I live, at the apartment I have. And I was like, dude, this sucks. And my buddies from back home they had all went to welding school and were working on the road making $2-3 grand a week. And I was like, I'm going to go do that. So I dropped out of college and then went to welding school and then started working on the road. And I did that for about 4.5 years till the TikTok thing really took off. And I, just got better at writing songs and everything. And just kind of went from there.
Kept on trucking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so music was all around the house. It's been a big influence. And
Yeah.
did you ever see yourself music being a career? Like what
Well,
it's become, not teaching but
yeah,
performing
yeah.
and everything and songwriting?
Yeah, so like when I was in school, you know, I was like playing. I was played euphonium, or if anybody knows, I doubt it, but it's a baritone or whatever. Anyways, I was always wanting to be like involved with music, and I either wanted to teach it or be like an orchestral musician.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, when I went to welding school, obviously I was like, okay, I'm gonna weld. You know what I mean? And I kind of like I just couldn't let music not be a part of my life, so I just played guitar all the time, and a lot of it was I was going through a lot of stuff. You know, when I first got out of college, and you know, pretty much the whole time I was in college, going through a lot of things, and that's how I learned to, you know, when I got kicked pills, that's how I, you know, started getting my feelings out and stuff like that, and it just, you know, got better and better and better, and then when I got TikTok, all my buddies had it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do that. When I got it, I was just scrolling, and I kept seeing people posting covers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I thought it was an app for like funny videos or something.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
back in the day, it was. There was a lot of viral
There's a lot
shit.
of dancing.
Yeah,
A lot of dancing.
yeah.
That was most of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
dude.
dancing and
Yeah, and like fucking videos of people blowing shit up or something like
Yep.
that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like I wanted it for that, and I just kept seeing people post, and I was like, well, I can post. You know,
Yeah.
like I was posting some stuff on Facebook and stuff, and had like made a music page and stuff like that. So I was like, let me do that, and then I made a YouTube, and I just started posting, and like, you know, as you post, you get better at posting and stuff like that. And once I started kind of really getting in the rhythm, and like I had my first video that got like over 10,000 views, and I was like,
famous.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Where's the money?
Yeah. Like I could do this, you know what I mean? So it just kept going from there. And then when the original music, like when I first had my first, like I would say viral video, it got like 670,000 views or something like that. But so not super viral, but to me at the time that was like viral.
Yeah.
You know.
Was that Liquor and Pills?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. So I had thought of the song when I was on the way home from Minnesota. I was working at a fab shop there, welding, and I was on the way back home for the weekend or something like that, and I had thought of that thing, and I didn't have my guitar with me, so when I got back home, I put it to a guitar and put the lyrics to it, and I made a TikTok video of it, and it got like 670,000 views, like I just said, and I was like, dude, this is crazy, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could do this, you know, I could put this song out, I could figure out a way to get, so I just hit up a production company, or a guy that does a lot of production around where I'm from in Fayette, Missouri. Shout out to Better Man Records for that, and they produced the track for me, and a girl I went to college with actually sang on it with me. She wrote her part. I had wrote the whole song out, and it had different lyrics, and that's what I sang at live shows and stuff like that. But she, you know, at the time, she was like, hey, let me sing this with you, and I was like, cool. So we did it, and then I posted a video of it like 2 days after it got released, and getting played on my hometown radio station because I know one of the guys that works there, and he played it for me. Shout out to Chuck Weldon. And that video got 15 million views.
That's nuts.
And the song went viral. I was like, oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I quit my job. Like right before I put that, like right before the song released, I quit my job in Minnesota. I had got COVID, and it was like during Thanksgiving break, or right after Thanksgiving break, and I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going all the way back to fucking Minnesota when I can try to make this work. And I had a tiny bit of money saved, and I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right now.
Yep.
Ain't going to look back since.
Ain't it crazy how, like, it lines up like that? It
Yeah.
happens like that. Like,
Oh, dude.
That's insane, the timing.
Yeah, I think for me it was like when I finally gave myself no plan B, it was like, it's either do it or, you know, don't do it at all.
I really believe that a plan B has killed more plan A's than anything.
Oh, hell yeah,
I
dude.
really believe that.
Because you always have it in the back of your mind. I mean, you can always make a new plan, but I'm saying, like, if you're going to do something, give it 100% of your attention.
Yes, sir.
You can't be working on something else and trying to get two things to go at once.
Yep.
Just in case, because then they'll both fail and you'll be fucked.
You watch You ever seen Parks and Rec?
Mm-hmm.
Ron Swanson was like, never half-ass two things, whole ass one thing.
That's right, dude.
I was like, that's good because it's true.
Yeah, it definitely is, dude. I mean, like, because I mean, subconsciously you're not giving like if you're constantly, and like for me it was a little different because I knew that I had learned how to weld and I'd been doing it for a long time. So if there was any ever thing where I had to have money,
Yeah.
I knew I could go back to construction.
Yeah.
So I guess in that aspect, like I'm privileged in that way that I could say like, I'm going to give this my full attention or whatever. But I mean, there were times where, especially at the beginning, because that first check for Liquor and Pills didn't come for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So I was like dead broke.
Yeah.
My shit was behind, my dad was helping me out a lot. And I was like, this is fucking, I don't know if I can fucking do this. And then the first check came and I was like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, well,
I can make it work.
It added a little bit back to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to. You don't have to give me a specific number, obviously. But I heard the numbers that Spotify that pays artists isn't. It ain't what you would expect. Is that true? Or
Yeah,
is
it's
that...
fucking terrible, dude. Like, and I'll talk about all that shit. It's like Spotify is 0.003 cents per stream. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So for 1,000 streams, you make 3 cents.
It's nothing.
It's fucking awful. So it takes about, I would say on Spotify, it's around 1 million streams to get $3,000.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So
that's nothing.
So Apple Music pays the best. They're like 1 cent or 0.1 cents per stream. So, I mean, it's like a cent per 100 or something like that. But, I mean, obviously the majority of people use Spotify. So that's where the majority of your streams come from. And I think eventually with, like, the rise of independent music and stuff like that, Spotify's going to have to figure out a way to pay artists more money because they'll fail if they don't.
Yeah.
But
and everybody's complaining about it now because everybody's kind of caught on, too. It's like, this is horrible. Like, this ain't just my check. This is everybody's check.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, it sucks because, we're not Taylor Swift. We're not getting, the streams that they're doing. And I'm not saying that, we have to expect to be that popular or whatever. The product is what it is, So if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. But the fact that you can get 1 million streams on something, I mean, that's a lot of times people are listening to something, and that's $3,000.
Well, think about this too. If it was 1970 and you sold 1 million records, you could shit gold basically. Like it's way different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even in the world of iTunes, it didn't last very long. But like when people had MP3 players and shit before Spotify, all that.
Yeah, you have to pay for a song.
Right, 99 cents. Artists would see most of that, or like the person receiving that money, whether they were signed to a label or whatever. But I mean, that was kind of like during the rise of independent music, So if somebody was releasing through DistroKid or their own, public distributor or whatever, then the shit was like paying better because the artist saw more money. But I mean, if they had like if somebody was if song's 99 cents and an artist sells, 20,000 iTunes sales, they're seeing like 17 grand in that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like once they got rid of paying for a song at a time or an album at a time, that just took away. Yeah. It basically took away everything.
Yeah.
Now it's all through. Music's made a switch. I've said it before. It went from you'd make all your money from album sales and you'd make a little bit off of record sales. It's still a lot, but it wasn't crazy. Now it's all from live performances, and now it's not as much on.
Dude, live is so hard to make money at too.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like unless you're. Like I think in the country music space, it's probably a little bit easier because it's not as much of it like a production and stuff like that. It's more of like people are going to hear the music, not just see a show.
There's more places to play, there's bars and all this stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about costs for like, just like me personally, when I play a live show, like without me making any money, I have 3 band members that I have to pay, and I like to pay them at least $200 for a show.
Yeah.
I would love to pay them $500 per show, but it's just not realistic. So that there's $600 right there. I have a live audio engineer. That's another $200. So you just for the band, you're looking at $800.
Yeah.
And then that's not counting. Like if I live in Missouri, so a lot of times if I'm playing a show out of state, we got to stay the night. Okay, so there's another $200 for a hotel room.
Yep.
Then gas, that's probably another $200.
Yep.
So now you're looking at about $1,200, and you haven't even paid your agent or your manager yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or yourself. Like
yeah,
you're
you ain't got nothing
right,
yet.
right. So you got to make close to $2,000 at a show just to break even. And I mean, a lot of artists do it through merch and stuff like that, which helps a lot.
Yeah,
and like anybody who goes out there and buys merch, you're a saint for that, because the artist, that's the most effective way to put money in an artist's pocket. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So people who do that, you rock. If you don't buy merch at shows, you should, if you have the money to do it. But yeah, it's just tough because like even like a van rental, you got to take all this fucking gear.
Yep.
Well, if you don't have fucking 6 shows lined up and you just go to one show, you rent one van, it's fucking $800 for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, then you're looking at shows can cost you like $2,500, $3,000 easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of them are door deals, and a lot of times, dude, even this is why I have such a problem with venues. Sometimes most venues are kind of going away from it, but a lot of times they'll fucking take a merch cut.
Really?
Yeah, which is like fucking 10, sometimes 30%, sometimes it's 10%, but any percent is fucking bullshit. I mean, like the way these fucking venues, like I don't get a cut of alcohol sales when I come play your venue. I'm entertaining these people and getting these people to buy beer.
Yeah. And I bet they didn't pay to print the shirt either.
Yeah, no shit. I bought the fucking merch. That's what I'm saying, dude. And I'm like, a lot of times they'll either say, "Hey, we have to have our person sell your merch for you, so that way they can justify their cut." But that's bullshit. They're paying somebody $100 to stand at a table that night.
Yep.
And they're gonna fucking rake in probably, some nights $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's fucked up.
I was told by several people that do merch and that play live and do other stuff doesn't even involve playing music.
Yeah.
That live basically off their merch sales.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
like because it is the most effective way to put money in an artist's pocket, because they make the whole margin on it. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times when I do play shows, I don't personally take a cut off the guarantee. I'll just make that for the band. Whatever the guarantee is how I'll split it up between the band members, and then I'll just take the merch. So, I mean, which, when you got a big crowd or whatever, that's great.
Yeah.
Because, but then when you go fucking play a festival in Milwaukee where nobody's there to see you or something like that,
yeah,
and you don't sell no fucking merch, then you're out a ton of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
well,
it's hard.
I mean, that's pathetic, honestly.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And if you're a venue out there, any venue sees this shit, fuck you if you take a merch cut.
You heard it from the boss himself.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Well, I know recently you just signed a record deal. You were an independent artist for a long time, correct?
Yep.
Doing it all yourself and.
Yep. Went to the dark side, they say.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you. I was gonna get into your content in a little bit, but I know you talk crap about them for a long time.
I know,
but now
dude.
you traitor.
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding.
No, it's good, man. I fucking think about it a lot, and when it boils down to it, I was doing it for so long that it was like I can keep trying to do this myself.
Yep.
Or if I'm gonna do the label thing, now's my chance.
Yep.
And it just so happens, that the label I signed with, I absolutely love. They're great. They never tell me what to post, never tell me what to wear, nothing like that.
Sony Disruptor, correct?
Yep, Sony Disruptor. Yep, they are awesome. Every step of the way, they've let me kind of make any kind of music I want. Because that was a big thing for me, is that, I do bend genres a lot.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't want to say, I'm trying to just be this multi-genre artist or whatever, but I call myself a country artist because my brand looks like it's a country brand.
Yeah.
And I'm from a small town and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I still live there and everything. So it kind of it always being a country artist represents who I am more than it does the music I make. Is the way I feel. So, and I just think that we should let people make whatever kind of music they want, as long as they have real lyrics that mean something.
Yep.
Then I think it's great. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest problem. I've never had a problem with the production of how something sounds. Like snap tracks or 808s or whatever. Yep. I don't give a fuck. I use that shit in my songs. Mm-hmm. It's a fact of generic ass lyrics versus lyrics that actually fucking mean something to somebody.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's kind of that was my major point. And with Disruptor, they never have ever once said, like, don't post this or, don't post that or whatever, because I've been running my social media and making the music, they're like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
So they've been great.
Well, it's cool they give you a lot of leeway too, because that seems like what a lot of artists today are really, and it's been the same back when Waylon and Willie. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's just carried over in today. I mean, they're trying to.
Yeah, I think that like some of the Disruptor's an independent label. I guess they're a joint venture. Yeah, with Sony. So I think with them, and I think a lot of labels are doing this. They're trying to get to the point where they're seeing that people are growing their followings on their own.
Yep.
So, in their mind, it's like if you can just take something and amplify it, then that's the way to go now. Yep. And it is like if labels had that mindset, then they'd be much better off. Yep. It's like when it only becomes a problem when these labels are like they take an artist and they're like, hey, there's a difference between offering suggestions of what you should do to build your career and telling you what to do to build your career. Because it can't come from that's where these labels fuck up. It can't come from a place of like, oh well, we've done it before, so we know what works. Because 90% of artists on a label roster are going to get shelved or booted in 6 months to a year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as much as they want to say like, oh yeah, we've done it before, we know what works. They've also done it before and shit the bed.
Yep.
Multiple times.
I was told that they hired 10 artists to maybe get one banger.
Yeah.
And
to go viral.
Is that a fair assessment number wise?
I mean, I don't know the actual statistics, but when you take a hard look at it, that's what it seems like.
Yep. I mean, it seems like for a long time they weren't really getting the whole building your own brand on social media deal.
No.
Now it seems like they're starting to figure it out. Like it's the same with Spotify. We were talking about earlier. They're starting to figure out like, oh hey, we got to change something because they're out here they don't need us no more. And I was talking junk to you obviously about selling out.
Yeah, no, dude.
But you're
I
doing
totally get
it. You're not selling out. You're just figuring out how to amplify and get out in front of more and more people and get put on the same level as the Riley Greens or all these Morgan Wallens and all these guys that are you're trying to get put on that level. That's all you're doing, and you're working hard. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean,
that's kind of like the major mindset I had. I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it now. And I mean, I never had a problem with labels. I just had a problem with how they were so predatory towards some artists. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first when I first blew up on social media in 2020 with Liquor and Pills, I came down here because I had a meeting with a few different labels. Yep. Or meetings with different labels. And I was like talking to them, and at most, like in 2020, it was right at the very beginning of it in February or something like that. And they all kind of came back to me with like this, but it's TikTok, like it's TikTok success. Like how far can it go? And now you look at the industry and a label won't even fucking look at you unless you're doing something on TikTok. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? So
look, I've heard where they've told bigger artists that you need to do more on social media.
Oh, absolutely, dude. And like that was my whole thing. It was like on the artist side, I can see where, some of these artists are like, well, I wanted to do this to be a musician, not a content creator. And it's like, okay, I get it. But if you don't believe in your music enough to fucking sell it yourself, then nobody else is going to either.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that it's awesome that you have to fucking wake up and make content every day. There's days I don't want to do it.
Yep.
But, I mean, I also love being a content creator as well because I like showing who I am as a person. I didn't want my fucking whole brand to just be songs.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted people to buy into me because of who I am.
Yep.
Not like, because I said fuck you to my ex-girlfriend one time who cheated on me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, dude. Like, you can't... And I'm not saying that, like... I'm not saying you have to fucking be a full-time influencer. It was just like, for me, when I first started, I didn't have the money to go get songs produced all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even songs are expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make. So, I would say probably the cheapest you could get a song done if you don't know how to play, like produce yourself, I would say probably the cheapest you could get it done if you really did it DIY is like $1,500.
I was gonna say $6,000, but
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's on
still
the
a lot.
very, very low
That's
end.
still a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
you're basically just picking a guitar
Right.
almost, and
Exactly, dude. And that's what I'm saying. So like for $1,500 you could pay somebody to record you, and you write the song, and maybe you can get them to play a couple instruments for you, and then mix and master it, and then but it's not going to be like a full production or whatever. I would say like a full production song, like if you're at if you're already an established artist and you're getting music made all the time and stuff like that, it's probably on the cheap end, $3,000, $3,500 a song nowadays.
jeez.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. It costs a lot of money. So like, for me, I didn't have that when I first started. So I had to post.
Yep.
Like I had to post acoustic videos and stuff like that. And then I started posting on YouTube and posting full songs, like just sitting in my living room on YouTube. And that was like how I got most of my followers on YouTube.
Yep.
Or most of my subscribers, because I don't post like a whole bunch to YouTube anymore, because I have avenues to get these songs made, so I don't want to just leak them all the time. But and I suck at guitar. But like when I first started, I was like, dude, I got an iPhone. I would set an iPhone up on a music stand out of my mom's piano room, and I would just sit there and play the song that I wrote, and then I'd upload it to YouTube. I did that with Liquor and Pills before I ever released it, and it got like 700,000 views. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like that was the first time I had really ever experienced like people listening to my music in a major way.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, okay, I can do this. You know what I mean? And that's where I was like, I can get these songs produced or whatever. But it takes time. Like you have to save up that money and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's difficult as an artist to do that. But I mean, when you have no other avenue, you have to post.
Yep.
Or nobody's going to hear you.
Yep.
So for me, like, I didn't want to just post covers or singing videos all the time.
Yeah.
Every day. You can't. So I started posting, like joke videos, or like started posting my opinions or whatever.
Yeah. So we mentioned your content, and that's actually where I first discovered Bryan Andrews. I've been following you it's been for a while. I was on a different account before I started my account for the podcast and stuff. But I actually I came across your stuff. It wasn't music. I didn't even know you did music at the time. It was the skits and stuff that are absolutely hilarious. And I'll tell you the first one that I saw was Luke Bryan's cameraman.
Yeah.
And I about pissed myself laughing. I was rolling. Like, that was so funny.
Yeah, like, dude. I don't know if he's seen that, but
oh, he's had to, because it's got millions, don't it?
Well, like the first time I posted it got like 6 million views, and the second time I posted it got like 7 million.
Yeah. And
it was getting reposted on other people's social medias that were sharing it and shit like that. And like one of them had like 17 million views. And I was like, there's no fucking way he hasn't seen that.
He's seen it. He has definitely seen it.
So I hated that it was like, making fun of him. I don't have anything against Luke Bryan or whatever. I think he's a great artist and a good guy.
I don't even think it was making fun of him. I think it was hilarious. I mean, that's got to be one of the most iconic moments in hunting in the hunting industry.
Dude.
I mean, he lost it.
And, dude.
I mean, and
it's a real moment.
That's what I was getting at. I was like that. Like, people can say whatever they want about him being fake, and they have for years. You can't fake that. As somebody that hunts just like you do, you can't fake that emotion. No. That was like,
dude,
a lifetime buck.
Yeah, it's pure fucking adrenaline. And I mean, a lot of people don't understand that feeling, but that's where I like, Luke Bryan catches a lot of flack for being a part of the bro country era and shit like that, and wearing the skinny jeans and all that bullshit. But personally, like as a person, and I know that was before like the era of showing your personality and all your content and stuff like that, so a lot of people don't know this, but I mean, he's from a town that's like smaller than mine. He grew up farming with his family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, and he grew up hunting and doing all that shit. He really grew up doing all that. I don't know how you get much more country than that.
He was. And like I said, that's one of the best moments in hunting. And your take on it was just like, what the hell? Like, it was so good. And that's when I started following you. That's when I saw your other content. And then that's when I realized you did music too. But you're, like you was talking about being an influencer / country artist and really doing a lot of different type stuff that you do. I think that I think over time people really need to catch on to that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to nowadays.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
cool, and it builds a it's like, well, god dang, you don't just do music. He's hilarious. Like he posts some funny stuff, and
Yep.
just it's so good. I remember another one that I saw that you did that was the hunting press conference.
Yeah,
That was another one of my favorite.
Fuck,
the
I
press
forgot about
conference.
that one. Yeah, that was fucking dope too, dude. Man, I miss doing those videos. I did a skit the other day about golfing and shit. It just didn't work.
Yeah, I love it.
It didn't work as well as it used to, but I mean, I think that, like TikTok itself, like goes through trends and stuff, and skits were so big at that time that you know, it was super easy to make those. And yeah, like the Luke Bryan thing, dude. Like that video was so easy to make because, like, I knew it was gonna go viral. There's like sometimes you do know when a video is gonna pop.
Yep.
But like when I was editing the video on my phone, I was like, this is objectively hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
if you're laughing at it yourself, then like for other people probably are going to.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is gonna work or whatever. And like when it went so viral, I felt bad because like I didn't want fucking, you know, any bad shade going towards Luke or whatever. But it was just such a funny parody to make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I loved it or whatever, but I loved making it. And then like doing all the skits and everything, like content and music for me go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I've said that from the beginning. I mean, because a lot of my stuff is comedic, and I mean in the last year or so it's gotten really serious. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. As far as like, you know, when I give political takes or anything like that, which are unpopular in the country genre, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like the easiest thing in the world to post shit like that, but at the same time, like I want people to buy my merch or buy tickets to my shows or listen to my music because they believe in who I am, you know what I mean, and can relate to me.
Yeah.
And so like it's fine to disagree with some of the things I say or like not think that a video is funny here and there or whatever, but you know, you might hear something that you do like or see something that you do like, just like you said, you know, you saw that video and then you figured out I did music.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just like that. You gain a fan in more ways than just having them like your song.
That's absolutely right.
So,
and it like I said, I love your content, and now your music's really started to become more of a focus.
Yeah.
I love the way you've I guess teased your new song Blue.
Yeah.
And I was telling your manager about it because we were going back and forth on the phone, and I was like, I think he's got this song stuck in my head already. He hadn't even released it because you were teasing it for. I mean, how long did you tease it for?
Like 3 months since April, dude.
Yeah, before you finally released it, I was like, I think I feel like I know the song by heart, and I hadn't even heard the whole thing yet.
Yeah, I fucking felt bad for doing that, but I mean, we tried to get it out a little bit earlier, but like it was kind of like it was the first single I was putting out with the label.
Yeah,
and it was totally not their fault. It was pretty much like we were just trying to see what was working, you know, because I hadn't released music since October of last year. So I was like, you know, kind of basically coming into it fresh. You know, my monthly listeners had dropped pretty low, and we were just like, okay, we've got what we've got. We got like a good set of songs, and we want to, you know, get this song out. But we needed to wait till we had the songs ready to go, you know, the other songs and stuff. So that way when we started the train, it didn't have to fucking stop again.
Yep.
So
and
that was...
I heard you say that in the video. You just didn't want to release one song and not have a catalog of music to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't want to put a song out and then have nothing to put out after that.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? Like that's why I'm in Nashville, you know, writing more music and stuff like that. So, like, that was partly my fault. I shouldn't have teased the song as early as I did, but I fucking loved the song. You know, I wrote that song at home, and I was like, man, this song really rocks or whatever, and I didn't really have it all the way finished. I had most of it done or whatever, but then I went to Los Angeles when I ended up signing the deal, and I had some writing sessions out there, and I was in a room with Andrew Goldstein and Marshall Vore. These are two guys that helped me finish writing it or whatever. And we were sitting I had just got off the plane. And, you know, when I was there, you know, them guys typically don't work a whole lot in country music. I mean, Andrew had done some stuff. He was the producer on it, and he's done some stuff with Kane Brown. But, you know, that's pretty much it. He's done a lot of work with, like, MGK or, like, Black Bear, I mean. Yeah. And then, you know, some stuff with MGK and then some stuff with, like, All Time Low. So, I mean, he's in different genres and stuff like that. But we were sitting there, and, you know, I was like, you know, I got this one fucking song. you know, and I just played it, and they were like, "Fuck yeah, let's write that."
Yeah.
And Andrew did a fucking killer job on that production, man. So we ended up finishing it there, and as soon as like that day, he got me the demo, and I was like, I have to fucking post this.
Oh, you got to hear it that day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, dude. As soon as we were done fucking recording vocals, he was just like finished it up basically. Because the way it works now, you're basically producing the track in time.
Yeah.
It's like at the same time you're writing it.
Yeah.
Which was crazy for me because I had only ever written songs on acoustic guitar and then sent them to a producer, you know, to get produced and stuff like that. But yeah, you can pretty much have a demo done that day, and then you know that I was like, fuck, dude, this song rocks. So I started teasing it that week. You know, the day I got home, I posted a video, and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome, you know. And the first couple videos only got like 20 or 30,000 views, and then I posted one video about it and got fucking 1 million. And then 2 videos later, I posted about it again, got 2 million. And I was like, fuck. You know?
We're rolling now. Well, this song was it's a little bit of a you mentioned blending genres. This song was a little different than a lot of others. This is way different than Liquor and Pills.
Yeah.
This was had more of a production feel to it, I guess is the best way to say it.
I would say it's definitely more on the pop country side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I won't shy away from that. Like the production of it definitely has definitely leaned into the I don't even want to say hip hop, but just the poppier side. You know, of which was fun for me because I had never went down that lane.
Yeah.
And so my main objective, like when I go into a write, especially with other people and stuff like that, is just let the room do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
So when I was writing it or whatever, and the production was going away, like he played the opening guitar lick, and I was like, that fucking rocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's got a cool beat to it.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
And it went real well with your videos, which I want to talk about this new style of video that you've been doing because it's funny. You're like talking crap about your ex or whatever. How did you come up with that style of video? Because it's a way different doing your skits.
Yeah, so I was kind of trying to do the skits. Like I had filtered them in and out of you know my content for the last I want to say 7 or 8 months, and none of them were really hitting as hard as they used to because like TikTok itself moves in trends, you know, or like consumers move in trends. So the skits were kind of on their way out, and I was like, how can I keep like the same skit feeling, you know, and keep this like, you know, vibe going where it's still like content, but promoting the music at the same time. Yeah. And so I was sitting around one day and I was like, man, I wonder if I could like make up like a phone call between me and my ex or some shit. And that work. Yeah. And like I had got the idea because I posted one of the videos that said like, hey, my ex just sent me a fucking DM and said, congrats on your record deal. And that video went viral. Yeah. And then I played the song right after that. And I was like, okay, so maybe I can go up that lane or whatever. And I was like, all right, let me fucking write this out. So I wrote out the skit, you know. Yeah. And then, skit, and then fucking ran it through a voice changer.
I was about to ask how you were able to pull it off. Did you have like 2 phones doing? Is that is that the trick to it? Okay.
Yep. So like I would record it, like the audio and everything on my phone. Yeah. Right. And then I would send the voice or run the voice memo through a voice changer.
Yeah. Make it a female.
Yeah. Make it a female. And then send it to my old phone. Yeah. And I would record the video with this phone in my car, you know, sitting right in front of me like this. And then like have the other phone, and it's basically you just put effects on it and it sounds like it's somebody on the phone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I would do the voicemail thing, like and all that shit. So it ended up working really good. And I think like at first I say this all the time now because those videos did start going viral. So I was like, I feel the need to clarify, but the first fucking video that went viral, you know, I think there was some people being like, is this fucking real? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty. You would have to really. I feel like if you don't make content, you would have to really look. I feel like I could see it tricking some people.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. And so like, then I was like, well, I think some people are kind of falling for it, obviously. So I was like, I'm just gonna hammer it until people obviously know this is fucking.
Make it even more obnoxious. I don't want to say obnoxious, but make it more obnoxious. So it's like, okay, this is fake.
Yeah. But then like I started doing that. And people obviously started acknowledging that it was fake, but then I think they just were like, these are hilarious, you know? Like, let me fucking buy into this, you know? So people could they kept going viral. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this
Yeah.
slaps. So it was definitely a marketing strategy that I came up with in my house. You know, sitting down, I was like, I wonder if I can fucking do this.
It worked. It seems like.
Yeah. It's cause I mean, like a lot of content creation is that. You know,
Yeah.
just figuring it like, oh, I'm gonna try this idea, and if it
Yeah.
works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
Yeah, I might have a podcast, but I'm a content
Yeah.
creator too. I get it. I'm like it's 24/7 for me.
Oh yeah, dude.
Trying to figure ideas out and writing ideas down, and if I'm not making it, editing it, I'm trying to come up with
Yeah,
it. And
exactly.
because you got to do it every day.
Yep, and that's kind of my my mindset when it comes to content. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I have videos that flop all the time, but who gives a fuck?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just keep posting. Like
Yep.
that's sometimes like I'll post a video and I thought it was gonna do well or something
Yep.
like that, and it'll bother me a little bit, but then.
Yep.
Most of the time I get over it pretty quick because, like, dude, I have 3 million followers and I still have videos that sometimes only get like 8,000 or 9,000 views.
I wanted to clear that up because I wanted to tell you this because I thought it was cool. I'll get a chance to talk to you today. When I started, I was, you know, how it is in the beginning. You're struggling. Videos just will not pop off. And it seems like you always see something when you need it. I was just having just a horrible week, just make it content-wise. You posted a video I'll never forget. You said, I've got almost 3 million followers, and I just had a video get 4,000 views.
Yeah.
Keep posting. He said, it's BS. Just keep posting.
Right.
As somebody that was new to it, starting out, that was like, I needed to hear that.
Yeah, dude.
So I just wanted to say thank you for that because that was, saying that. You
Appreciate
needed to hear that.
And, like, I say that shit because, like, dude, I've been through the same thing, you know, so the same lows. So I'm like, you know, when a video doesn't get 10K, when you're used to fucking seeing that, like, it's kind of a gut check moment. And you're like, fuck, dude, what is going wrong? You know what I mean? But sometimes it's just, like, the time of day you posted maybe off or something like that. So just keep posting. And, like, that was my major, like, thing with posting videos like that. I just don't want people to be discouraged when they're posting videos and they don't get a ton of views sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you've done it once, you can do it again.
Yeah.
Trust yourself, you know, just keep posting content and always try to make it better and you'll be fine.
That's a big thing when you figure it out. Like, if anybody can have a fluke, I always say anybody can have a hot tooth on it. That's kind of my go-to with it. But it's like, if you do it more than once, at that point, it's like, okay, you're doing something right. You know you can do it. And that really, once you start getting some traction, that's it's a big confidence booster. I mean, it's just like doing a podcast. I got done with the first one, got done with the second one. I was like, okay, I can do this. I didn't die. I'm nervous, but I got through it. I got through it. And now it's like, okay, now you can relax a little bit. And it's just like with that. I mean, I'm sure. Have you had anything happen on stage like a microphone failure or anything
fuck,
like
all the time, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, almost every time you play, there's something that fucking goes wrong. But that's what I'm saying. It's just, it ain't no different than that. I mean, like, especially in content, you know, not everything's going to go the way you thought it would.
Yep.
But the important thing is to just stay consistent.
Yep.
You know what the difference is between successful people and people who aren't successful?
They didn't quit.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's it. That's the only thing.
Just kept trucking. That's what I was told not long ago by somebody that's a very successful content creator. They was like, that's what separates you from people that just post one video and pray.
Yep.
Said you stuck with it, and that's why you're gaining followers every single day.
Yep.
But it does suck. I mean, if you hit a rut, and it's like you're used to getting this. Like when I started, I went for almost a month, and it seemed like every day it was getting 10,000 views plus, and it was like that was big when you're not getting anything.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then it stopped, and it was like,
damn.
Damn.
Dude.
Like, well, I guess this wave has run out. And then the worst part's the panic, because that's when it's like, okay, what do I got to do to get back to that?
Right. Yeah, and like I think that's where for me it's like just stay cool.
Yep.
You know, because like, dude, I mean, you always get that feeling. Like I just had a video get like 3.7 million or whatever on the thing in Minneapolis or whatever that I posted.
Yep.
And then posted a video the next day, and the video the next day only got like 20K.
Yep.
And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, what didn't work?
Yep.
But then I was like, just ride it out.
Yeah.
You know, like that's all you gotta fucking do is just ride that wave out, and you'll be fine. And I mean, it's like tough. It's a lot easier said than done to do that. But I mean, especially as a smaller creator, because you're like, well, fuck, you know, I don't have the followers that, you know, somebody like me has or whatever. But I mean, dude, when I was fucking popping off then, I didn't have no followers.
Yeah.
You know, and then there were still low moments then.
Yep.
I can remember times where I was like, well, if a post doesn't do 40K, then it's not doing very well.
Yep.
And then I went like a month, just like you said, nothing was going over 30K.
Yep.
And I was like, all right.
Then you get that stinker that's like 4,000. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Are they about to ban me?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, but no, once you just keep riding through it.
And plus too, I mean, is that a big part of, I don't want to get in specific numbers obviously, but is that a big part of your income?
Absolutely. I mean,
TikTok,
it's
YouTube.
It started like not being one just because like as we like shift more into making the music kind of the forefront.
Yeah.
Or like at least equal to the content, you know, like that was our main thing. It's like the content was here, the content volume was here, and the music volume was here.
Yeah.
And so signing the label deal has put me back to where I can get the music here.
Yep.
Back with the content. So
yep.
We've just kind of been balancing it out or whatever. And so like, you know, anything under 60 seconds on TikTok doesn't get, you know, monetized or whatever. So for me though, it's been more of like, okay, even though I'm not making as much, you know, because I'm posting shorter videos and stuff like that.
Yep.
If I can still keep the views over on the TikTok, you know, even on those short form videos, and then translate those to streams, then I'm still making it up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's leaned into not, you know, making so much on TikTok, but at that and my RPM so low now because I think any creator would tell you the same thing, but the more views you get, it seems like the lower your RPM is on TikTok. So like mine used to be at like $1.50 per 1,000 or something like that, and that was when it like first started, and now I just checked the other day and it's at like 37 cents on average. So, which isn't nothing, and I'm not saying it is or whatever, but it's not like, you know, it's not buying me a mansion. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So, which is fine. It doesn't have to. I didn't want to be, you know, just a content creator, but.
It'll buy you hamburgers.
Yeah. I mean, we pay bills or pay some bills and stuff like that. So it's not like it's nothing, and I'm very fortunate to be able to make that money. You know what I'm saying? So, and wouldn't be able to do it without everybody watching. So, but that's like I think monetarily as an artist, you have to just figure out ways to make money. In a lot of avenues, you know what I'm saying? Like
right here's one I know we're gonna find
out.
Tell me about you. I know that business you started with your dad, correct?
Yeah.
What went into that? It's the outdoor business.
Yeah. So after that deer we was just talking about, you know, it. I never found that deer, and it just haunted me, and I just felt super bad for that deer not being able to find him and wounding him and stuff. And I was like, we called him Ghost. Yeah. And because I never thought I'd see him again. Yeah. And then, you know, shot him and never did see him again, end up seeing him again. So it was kind of just a poetic thing. And I had been wanting to start something with my old man for a while. So I was like, hey, why don't we just start with hats? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, sure. So we kind of just started this company, and it's called Going Ghost Outdoors. Yep. And started with the hats, and had a girl I know make the design, and then her mom does the merch for it, like makes all the hats for it. So she stitches them herself in my hometown, and then we try to peddle them.
Peddle them. I love the terminology. You're bootlegging them a little bit.
No, dude. But I mean, it's been great, dude. I love doing it. The main reason we wanted to do it is because my dad's about to retire, and like I would love to have him do something with me. Yeah. You know, when he's done, so we can work together. You know, because I know he's not going to want to just. I mean, I think for a little bit he's going to want to sit around. Yeah.
It ain't going to last if we got the same dad. They ain't going to retire.
No, he just won't be able to sit there all day every day. Yeah. You know,
my dad will always do something. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same.
I mean, it's like, what are you going to do? Sit there in the couch till you die? Yeah. Like, you know, nobody wants to do that.
That's exactly right.
So, that was the main reason we wanted to do it, and then it just like it's been going well. It's not like I don't stay on top of it as much as I should, but I mean it's been going great, and I love doing it, and I love the hats too, and I love having my own brand that I can wear, you know, like on stage and stuff like that. Yeah.
So is he You mean is he retiring from the school system?
Yep.
Is that right? That's
Yep.
cool. That's really cool.
Yep, he's been teaching for like 35 years now.
That man's got a heart. He a lot bigger one than I got. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would go nuts at
Yeah.
all his kids. What grade was he teaching?
He is 5th through 12th.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, he caught them at a
Yeah.
If he especially the 5th and 6th graders,
yeah.
he's catching them right there at the.
Yeah, he's it's a small school, so he's the only band director they have, and so he teaches, the middle school, junior high, and high school, and it's a lot of a job.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
So this last year, the choir director, it used to be my mom, and she left to go to another school, nearby school, a couple of years ago, and this year, the choir teacher they did have also left, so my dad is teaching both choir and band.
Yep.
So he's got a lot on his plate, and it's his last year, and I think he was like, okay, if it's my last year, I'll do it, and then I'm out. So I want something there to be able to do with my old man, because he's my best friend. So
my dad's my best friend too.
Oh,
So that's
dude.
pretty cool. Y'all got that same relationship too.
Absolutely, man. It's like, I don't know. When I was in high school, it was such a different story. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's like,
especially if you're going to school with him as a teacher.
Yeah, dude. It was just we were always butting heads and everything. And I've always thought highly of my dad or whatever. But I mean, he was my dad.
Yeah.
He wasn't there to be my friend. He was there to tell me when I was fucking up.
Yeah.
So he did that, and we butted heads a lot. But then as I got older, and especially now, I'm like, yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, you realize he was just trying to raise you. He
Yep.
wasn't going out doing that crazy.
It's funny how you're you go through, when you're really young, you think your old man is Superman.
Yep.
And then you have moments, like at somebody's funeral or something like that, and he cries or something like that, and you're like, what?
Yeah, like what is this? Like, he ain't supposed to do that. Yeah.
Like, you cried, dude?
Yeah.
And so you find out they're human, and then the more you find that out, the more you try to exploit those weaknesses in them. Growing up, you know what I mean, to get away with shit.
Yep.
And that's what I think causes the
A little riff.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
But it's funny how that riff gets mended though.
Right.
Usually.
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
As you get older, you start to have some of the real world problems that they were going through, and then you relate to it more, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You
know what my favorite post is about dads? It's been going viral recently. I've seen it a bunch. It was like as a kid, I used to wonder why my dad was pissed off all the time. Now look at me, pissed off Junior. That is.
Oh, dude,
that's the truth.
That is the fucking truth. But yeah, I mean, it's just you figure out that the problems that they were worrying about are actually very fucking intense. You know, and so you just can relate to him more, and kind of, and I have a great relationship with my dad. I always have. He's always been there for me and stuff like that. But he's been just a rock for my family and stuff like that. Always working his ass off and stuff like that. So it was easy for me to not butt heads with him when I got older and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate in that aspect that I have a father like him.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So I know you mentioned being on the road, doing a little construction and all that. I know you said you went to welding school. I know it's a little off topic now in a way, but I just want to talk about it for a little bit because I know nothing about welding. I know what it is, but I've just never been around it. Yeah. So what is that like?
Dude, I miss physically, I miss welding every day.
Yeah.
And I mean, just because there ain't nothing like being on a job site welding pipe all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't miss working for other people. That's
we're on the same.
That's what drives me. When I think about it, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to working construction. And I mean, dude, it's fucking hot and shit. I talk about this all the time. Being a musician, an artist, and a content creator and stuff like that is hard, but it's not physically hard work.
It beats running a shovel. That's my saying usually. That's my saying usually.
Anyone who's telling you trying to do the whole poor me thing with fucking content and shit like that.
Oh yeah, they don't know.
No.
They don't know nothing.
No, because I mean, dude, there ain't I'm not fucking standing outside with jeans and a denim fucking
Yep.
shirt on, welding all fucking day long.
Yep.
Like, I'm not fucking pulling pipe down a rack or something like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So it could be fucking worse. You know, and I'm not saying I didn't make good money out there, and and all that, but yeah, I don't think there's any like way that I can say like, oh, dude, this job is so fucking hard,
Yep.
because physically it's not, and people
Yeah.
get up at fucking 5 a.m. every day
Yeah.
and go to that job for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
So I'm never gonna fucking pull that card.
It really makes you feel appreciative of this.
Oh, for fucking sure.
It brings a new appreciation to it. Like you say, on the
Yeah.
days where you do get frustrated,
Yeah.
it's like, well, it beats what I could be doing.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And like that's the thing. Like I do love welding, and like I think the things I miss the most about it too are just like when I used to work on the road. Like you do go, like I was on the road with my best friend, and so that I went to high school with. So it was like it's hard to give that shit up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you
Yeah.
like you fucking one are making a ton of money out there, and two, you're out there with people you would consider family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean it's a hard life to walk away from. So like, and like I'm fortunate that when I was working on the road, I didn't have a family. Like I didn't have a wife and kids and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But a lot of people did, and like that's where I really started writing. My first good songs was on the road, and I wrote them about the road because
Yeah.
I was like, watching, whether it be my best friend or some guy that I knew on the job site, have to call and FaceTime his kids every night to go to sleep
Yeah.
from fucking Wyoming or some
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? And so that was tough. And like, or like, even if we were just 7 hours away, that's not a fucking hop, skip, and a jump away.
Mm-mm.
And it's a tough life for them fucking guys, dude. Like when a
Yeah.
kid gets sick, especially the moms.
Yeah.
Like when a kid gets sick and they got fucking, work or whatever. Well, okay, what's she gonna do? Fucking call in for the fucking 12th time that
Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for, just as hard for the moms as it is for the guys out there working,
Absolutely.
because they got them kids back home to take care of. I mean, and we can't just come home, or them guys can't just come home.
Absolutely.
Like what are you gonna do? Quit your job to
Yeah.
go make a fucking 12-hour drive?
I never did nothing crazy like that, but we worked about 5 hours from the house one time. It was during the summer. We were working on the port at Morehead City. I think I was home maybe. Sometimes we didn't even go home for the weekend. I might have been home maybe 6 or 7 days that
Yep.
month, the month
Yep.
of July, and it
Yep.
really does. It brings a new appreciation to them. And you was talking about friends. That's pretty cool because me and one of my best friends, we had worked together since I was 16 and he was like 18. We worked
Mm-hmm.
together from basically till I was probably 20.
Mm-hmm.
And we had worked together. Like he got me a job at a golf course, I got him a job with me, and we just somehow we kept working
Yep.
together. Had classes together
Yep.
at school. We worked during the summer when we all graduated.
Yep.
We worked together every day, and it's
It's
cool.
dope.
It's cool though.
It's so cool to work,
Yeah.
work with your friends, dude. And like that's I'm super fortunate that like he did, or I ended up doing the same thing that he was doing and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, even he had a wife and 2 kids back home, so it was tough for him. And like
Yep.
you fucking see all the shit that they go through. I mean, a lot of guys end up drinking themselves to death.
Yeah.
Because I mean they'll be gone for 2 or 3 months at a time, 10 or 12 hours away, and they try to make it home once or twice in that time. But I mean, once or twice for 3 months, when you got a fucking 2-year-old and a 7-year-old at home, or a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old,
Yeah.
that shit's hard. That's real life shit.
Yeah.
That's why I never like I said, I never like talk about how hard it is being an artist or anything like that. And it's not that it's not hard. It's just that like that shit
Yeah.
is fucking tough.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen it firsthand. So I just always will have the greatest respect for guys who work on the road.
Yep.
And or for anybody who works on the road and spends that time away from their family. And it's tough. And like a lot of people say the bullshit like, well, you chose that job. It's like, yeah, okay, I went to fucking welding school to get, or anybody that goes to fucking welding school, like if you are from a town where I'm from, you don't fucking have jobs like that back home.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to try. And if there is a job like that back home, it's pays fucking what, $15 an hour.
Yeah,
Or
Dollar
$16 an
General
hour.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Dude, even fucking welding. I mean, like, there's a couple places around my hometown that do like cattle fencing and shit like that. I mean, any one of those jobs pays like around $20.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you supposed in today's economy? How are you supposed to provide for a whole family doing that?
It's tough, and just and you was talking about drinking and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what do you do when the day's over with and you can't, if you're so far away from home, you can't go home for the weekend.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
go to home to a fucking hotel room and you sit there.
yeah, like
You know what I mean?
it can get boring and
Exactly.
and
So,
everything. I wanted to touch on Missouri for another second because I actually went to Missouri for the first time over the summer. And leaving North Carolina, it's humid in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's crap. Like, it gets so hot in the summer. I told somebody the other day, I was like, if you pour water on you, you start steaming during the summer.
yeah.
Well, I was expecting to go west to get a break in the heat.
Not
That
Missouri.
was a big load of shit. There was no break in the heat. It got even more humid. I couldn't believe Missouri was that hot. And a buddy of mine I told you about was from Missouri, told me, he's like, Bo, it's hot. I was like, it can't be that hot. He's like,
Dude.
we just wait.
This summer was fucking brutal.
Yep.
Back home. I mean, like, there's a lot of summers where, tops out around 88, 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Dude, we had fucking 2 or 3 solid weeks there. Maybe even longer than that, like a month. It was like 97 degrees the whole fucking time.
And I'm gonna tell you something else too. The hardest I've ever seen it rain was outside of Kansas City.
Yeah.
It poured. I ain't never seen nothing.
That's
like
why
that.
it gets so fucking humid. It fucking rains like that, and then it just sticks around you because it's so fucking hot. And I mean, the Missouri weather is, especially around KC, because it's like kind of the northern part of Missouri.
Yep.
It's like, lower Iowa's kind of like this too, but it gets so fucking screaming hot in the summertime and so humid and shit. It's like a swamp.
Yep.
And then in the winter, it gets cold as fuck.
Yep.
So you get it all.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, dude.
And plus too, like we was talking about how cold it gets too. You're out in the Midwest. There's a lot of fields. There ain't no trees to break the wind hardly, and that wind's brutal. I told you I go to Ohio to hunt a lot. That Midwest wind is brutal.
Fuck
People
yeah.
that don't ever go through it don't get it.
Dude, I've seen, like, that's what they mean. Like, you ever see the Weather Channel talk about wind chills and shit like that?
Oh,
The fucking, like, real temperature could be like 100 or like -2 or something like that. And then the wind chill, it'll be like, oh, but the wind chill is fucking -18.
Yeah.
Well, if the wind chill, that means that's what it feels like, because the wind's hitting your fucking face with cold ass air.
Yep.
So if it feels like -18, it's -18.
It is. It is. It's a big thing. It's just like the heat index. I mean,
Yes.
it's the same. If it's humid as crap and
Yes.
it feels like it's 108, it's
108.
I don't care what the sun's doing.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
It's 108.
Yeah, like, you can tell me it's only 95 till you're blue in the face, and I will not believe you.
I won't either. You're sitting under a furnace.
Oh, dude, and it sucks so bad. But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of those fucking jobs, working on the road and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, fucking, we did a lot of work in Iowa, and we were in, like, South Dakota for a little bit too over the summer, and it was hot and humid there too. And I was like, fuck, this sucks. And then we, work in Iowa in the summertime, or Minnesota, or Iowa in the wintertime, and Minnesota in the wintertime, and it's fucking balls ass cold and snowing its ass off all the time.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck, dude, we just can't fucking outrun this weather, and you gotta
Yeah.
work outside in that bullshit, dude.
Plus,
Fuck.
you got the heat coming off the welder. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's adding to it
Yeah,
right there. It's
dude.
getting even worse.
Yeah, dude, you get hot under that motherfucker. I mean, there were days that, like, I would bring extra shirts to work.
Yep.
So I could change, because I would sweat through.
Yep, and
for sure.
it's nice to be. That's something a lot of people don't do, and me and my dad would used to always do it
Yeah.
at work, and I would switch shirts to drive back. Just that little bit of feeling of just taking that sweaty
Load
thing.
off. Yeah.
It's just, and it's not the shower you're about to get at the
Yeah.
hotel, but it's close.
Yeah.
It lets you know the day's over with.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, that's so fucking relatable, dude. Because people don't get it, man. You know how relaxing it is to fucking peel that fucking wet
peeling
ass
is
shirt.
right. You about got to cut it off
Yeah,
after
dude.
it's stuck to you for 10 hours or whatever you've been doing.
Dude,
You got to take it off with a blade.
Yeah, that's so true, dude. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's so, like, when were you there?
Maybe around between we went there for I want to say June 25th or something. Maybe it was before the 4th.
It was fucking hot then.
Yeah.
We went to Cancun. Me and all my buddies took a vacation to Cancun this year in the beginning of June, and it was like pretty much the same temperature.
Yep.
Which is not common.
Yep.
It's usually much more hot and humid. And I mean, definitely was more humid in Cancun than it was back home. But like, yeah, when we got off the plane in Cancun, it did not feel that much different than when we left Kansas City, which is weird because the first time we went to Cancun, it was like 80 here, or 80 in Missouri or whatever, and then we went to Cancun, and it was fucking middle of July, and it was so hot. I was like, this is fucking crazy that people can live here.
This ain't a vacation. This is like going from what I just came from.
Dude,
it's hot.
I was like, holy fuck. And I was like, never again will I go to fucking Cancun in the summertime. And we did it fucking this year.
That's when you need a break from the heat during the winter, or a break from the cold during the winter. Yeah, go during the winter.
One of my buddies, we all went for our 30th birthdays. That's why we went this year. And my buddy Mark, he's a basketball coach at the high school. We went to high school at, PE teacher there too. But so he has a lot of shit to do over the winter time, so he can't get the time off, which is fine, but it sucks.
Oh yeah, it ain't like going to that tropical paradise during the winter.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's when it would be really nice down there. I know a lot of people that go down there even in like March or April. They say it's kind of nice, you know. So because it stays chilly in Missouri till end of March.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, about turkey season.
Yeah, exactly. That's when it gets good.
Maybe you'll get lucky. It'll still be a little bit cool in the mornings, but not a ton. Okay, so your new song "Blue" is out now, and it's going. What are some numbers on it, like streaming wise?
Yeah, it's been out for about a month now, and like 30 days, and it's got just a little over 1 million streams.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's been the biggest release that I've had for like 2 or 3 years. So cool. I'm super pumped about it, dude. I mean, it's like we just got played on the Bobby Bones show. That was dope.
All right? So I got a confession. I remember seeing the video, but was that real? Or it looked like you might have been talking junk. Was that real?
No. So that one was a fake one. That was about a different radio station, but that one was fake.
Okay.
But the Bobby Bones show, me and him are mutuals on TikTok.
Yeah.
And he asked me when the song was out, and I was like, hey, we're trying to get it out this date, and then it kind of got pushed or whatever. And then I finally texted him, when it came out, I was like, hey, song just dropped or whatever. Hope you like it. I didn't hear nothing back. So I was like, well, maybe he fucking hates it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I was like, whatever. And then the week it dropped, we were going to a float trip for my birthday with me and all my guy friends. And went down there, and I was on the river, and I was looking at my phone. I got an email, and it was from his producers, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna play. Do you guys have a clean version? We're gonna play it on the show." And I was like, "Fuck!" Trying to call my manager on the river. I've been fucking drinking beer all day. I was like, "Hey, you need to get this shit to them." And so we got.
Did you have a clean version?
Yeah, no, not at the time.
Yeah,
we had to make it.
Oh, dang!
We just cut out the cuss words.
Yeah,
but,
That's funny. I understand not having it because you've been streaming. That's pretty good that you had to scramble to get.
Yeah, no, I texted him. I was like, dude, hey, you need to fucking get on this or whatever. And he was like, okay, yeah, we'll get it figured out. And they had it to him within like a day, so it was no big deal. But I mean, that was a surreal moment for me, because like I've listened to Bobby Bones so much, I'm such a fan of him and stuff like that. So. Of the show and everything, so that was pretty cool. And then, like I said, 1 million streams, and just gonna try to keep rolling out. The next single is called "The Older I Get," and it's up for pre-save now. Hopefully, we're gonna get that out real soon.
Cool, cool. I've never met Bobby, but I've never heard a bad thing about him. Is he cool like that? Or?
I don't know him like personally. Like I said, I think that the extent of our relationship is just mutuals on TikTok for now. But I just value how he can say his own thoughts, like his own opinions and stuff like that, because I'm the same way, and he's in country music.
Yep.
And so I think, like I said, it's talking about some of the content I make. Sometimes it gets political or whatever. Yep. So I just like somebody else, or I have a ton of respect for somebody else who's also willing to speak their mind in this space. Yep. You know what I mean? So that's always something I've looked up to him about and stuff like that. And also just like watching you know, some of the artists that I loved watching growing up, you know, go on his show and
Yep.
everything, you know, and stuff like that. So
Well,
hopefully I'll get on there soon.
music breaks barriers.
That's right.
I don't give a damn who you voted
It
for
does.
as long as the music's good. Willie, I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit about none of them.
It does,
You make
man.
good music, I don't care.
It does.
You got are you on tour right now?
I am not. I am not. We are hopefully going to be on tour soon, very soon. But we haven't really.
You haven't got
booked
anything figured
yet.
out?
Yeah, hopefully soon we'll get some stuff booked. But I think the main focus has just been on like making a bunch of music, you know, and getting ready to get it all out there, and then yeah, hopefully we're just gonna hit the ground running.
Now I got one more question. Is all this music you've been releasing, is this hooked to an album, or are these just singles?
These are just singles for
These are
now.
just singles?
Yep, yep. Hopefully an album is coming, but I just want to focus on like making as many songs as I can make right now, and
Yep.
then if I'm really feeling a song, then I'll basically tell or go to the label and be like, hey, I think this is the next song we put out, you know.
Okay.
And a lot of times they'll be like, yeah, sure. What is it?
Cool.
You know, what are we gonna do?
I love it.
So we'll get it figured out and then just go from there. But
I love it. Well, brother, thank you so much for giving me some of your time today, man. This
Yeah.
is so cool. Come to Nashville, get a chance to talk to
man.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
brother.
it, buddy.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
And thank y'all so much as always. I appreciate all of you. Over and out.